All right, this is stock number 50310. It's a 16-inch by 32-inch Okamoto model ACC-16.32EX. Hydraulic longitudinal feed, and the other axes are programmable. It has the Okamoto FANUC controller, over-the-wheel dresser, and the low smoke coolant filtration system.
Sure, all standard ACC, huh? So, yeah, we got that. It's not really set up properly, but we just kind of put it here. Goes with it. Hydraulic motor down low there on the side. Coming around the fan. Spin the motor up high. And Y-axis servo down low. Right there, yeah, it's sitting right there. I didn't know which way you were.
That's okay.
And all pretty much standard here on the back side, coming around by the control panel. The chuck cord is here. Oh, we got the table all the way over. I can move the table over for a second here. Do that manually. There we go. So you can kind of see the panel down low. The books are up on top. Parts manual, service manual, electrical documentation. The FANUC controller. That should be closed there. 2 servos. Coming around to the control side, the operator's control. Machine's currently running 220 volts. So we're already under power, and I've already homed it. So what we're going to do here is try a few manual movements. There's a lot to show here, but we'll cover a basic program, show a few movements off the servo dials, and as I just did a minute ago, the handle's engaged, so it all works really nice on this. I'm going to pull this out, lock that out. We can run the wheel first maybe, and listen to that, then we'll shut it down. You can hear the well, I have to start up hydraulics first anyhow, so let me get the oil going. That's on. And spindle next. Put on the grinding wheel. This one runs nice. And I can play with the dresser feed. You can hear it, but you really can't see it, the nib in there. But there's a gear way up there through the window that you can actually see the gear moving. But you can hear that little stepper motor come in. That all works nice. In fact, we're going to do a cycle here and let the dresser make a few passes. I'll explain a little bit here. And we're in the manual mode. And I can do rapid feed on the vertical right now. Which are these buttons right here. You pan over and you kind of see that. I know it's hard to show both, but that works nice as the wheel's still spinning down. That's this guy, and cross feed is over here. I want to bring the saddle across. Here's the manual movement of it, and you can do it off the switch here, and you kind of see it moving on the clock and moving at the same time. That's going that way. You go back the other way. And I can slow it down or speed it up right here, see? There's the 2 manual movements. Table would just do with the auto cycle. This is all for the auto cycle, fine feed, my conversion point, how much I'm going to feed down. It's got three pages basically. I'm in work data, which shows the distance. Then you've got my setup page over here, which has chuck size position if you were doing chuck, and the amount of cut, the intervals for the dress, which I've got intervals of 3. Yeah, my rough dress interval is every 3 thousandths, and the infeed amount is 1 thousandth on the rough dress. Just a few of the basics on that page. And over here, well, I haven't set it yet, but I'm going to set front and rear position, and I'm going to set TTYL, which is total stock removal. That'll be right here. I'll knock off 10 or 12 thousandths, and we'll put it into the auto cycle and watch the table run. So, in fact, I can do that right now. In this mode here, I'm just going to go back to the front page and move this manually and put it at 6.5. Where we at? Put that on. I'm going to put it at 6 inches, give or take, on the screen here. It's just pie in the sky numbers, but there's 6 inches right there. And I'm going to call that my rear position, and watch it give the position right there. It should. There's my rear position. And then I only want to traverse 1 inch. Now I'm going to move it back, which is the front of the wheel, 1 inch. I'm going to go to 7 on the control here. Rough, give or take. And there's my 1 inch traverse. That's all that is. That's the Z-axis movement back and forth. 1 inch. I'm going to call that the front position. We're done. Now all we have left to do is hit the wheel. Like I said, this is the down and dirty program. With the wheel where it's at right now, I'm going to leave it, even though we're 6 inches off the chuck. And I'm just going to ask for total stock removal in edit mode, and maybe take off 10,000. So I'm just going to go 0.010 right there and input that. And that changes to 10 thousandths. Now when I start auto cycle, that'll count down to 0, and then the wheel goes back up. We'll do this whole process without a dress cycle on, and then we'll do it again with the dress cycle, where we do an initial dress, 2 rough dresses, and a fine dress, all inside of that 10 thousandths. See, we can do it, or maybe we'll change to 12 thousandths. So I'm going to feed down 1 thousandth every pass. We are on traverse. And we'll go to step feed, and I can flip over to continuous feed on the fly. Like I said, there's a lot to show, but this gives you the basic idea. My fine down feed amount is going to be a 1/2 thousandth, and I'm going to transition at 1,000. So when I hit 1,000, I'll transition to a 1/2 thousandth on fine feed. This is table control right here, speed control. This is my down feed amount. Everything's in tenths, so I'm down feeding 10 tenths. And I'm transitioning at 10 tenths, and I'm moving 5 tenths. Maybe I'll lower that. I'm going to go down to 2 tenths for 1,000. Yeah, that's it. Chuck has to be on. We do have to be parked, so I have to move this thing over. It's loading up. Let me move this over. It won't start an auto cycle without it being in park position. All right, that's good there. Chuck is on. We should be ready to roll. I'm going to put it in automatic and hit cycle start. Hear something. There we go. You slow that down. I've got it set pretty close here just so we can keep things moving. And this won't traverse as long as I'm on manual. So even though it's running, it's not cycling yet. If I shut this off, then this will take off. There it is. And again, it's all adjustable on the fly. I can go really small. Kind of see Z moving over here, or I can speed it up. That's that 1 inch we're moving. It's fast, just to, like I said, just to show the program. We've moved down 4,000 so far. We're at 6. Now we're at 5. And I'll just flip over to continuous now, and we'll go from step to continuous. Now you see the constant movement now? Now it's just floating back and forth. It's hard to see it moving, but you can see it better on the numbers. Now you notice when it gets to the end of the stroke, it stops and waits for the table to make a pass, see? And then it takes off again. So it's a pretty savvy control. We're down to 2 thousandths. As soon as we hit 1, right there, now we go into fine feed. 2 tenths it should drop. Let's see what we get. There it is. And then here's the table control too. For what it's worth, you can just kind of slow this thing down. You can kind of see the table right there. Well, you can do a lot of this on the fly while it's running. It's real slow. Or we can speed it up a little bit then, of course. Moving right along. So we're down to 6 tenths. And don't have far to go. I'm moving 2/10 at a time. There's 4. I do have 1 spark out, so you got 2 more feeds, and then it'll spark out once on the traverse. Flip back over to step. That's it. And we're stepping again, and we're also sparking out right now. And it'll park itself, and it'll be cycle complete. And there's that. And it goes back up to 10, as you can see. I'm going to leave that alone and just put dress cycle on. You can't really see the dresser move in there, but you'll see it park itself, come out on a rough dress, go back in and finish the cycle. Same program, nothing's being changed except I'm turning on the dress cycle. Comes in, you heard it there, the stepper motor just backed up a little bit. So now we're doing a rough grind. You can just see that thing moving down here, the plate coming in and out, and it's going to take off. You'll see it next time whenever it parks. Whenever it parks, you can move in on that. Not now. Now I'm going to flip back over to continuous feed. Let it keep going. Yeah, it already backed up to 1,000 because of the dress. And 2 more thousandths, and then it'll go to that. You got a ways to go yet still. There it goes. Now it's parking. Now you might be able to just see. I just heard it. It's coming out. Little plate right here. That's a rough dress. That's pretty fast. And then we'll go back in. So every 3 thousandths or so, it does that, which is all controlled from down here. If you pan down, there's the fine and coarse dress speeds. This hydraulic, they're just flow controlled out. And so now, I think we got 1 more rough dress speed. That's why this takes longer now, because we got this dress cycle going on. We're dressing at the initial, and then we're dressing every couple thousandths during the program. I think there's 1 more dress at 2 maybe. 2 or 3, oh there it is. Okay, 4, here we're there. Coming out for another rough dress, here it comes. Yep. Actually, I wasn't thinking, but the last one we can show with this wide open. Yeah. You'd like to see the nib on the last one. It's gonna be a fine dress, it's gonna be a slow one. Yeah, 2 thousandths I think. Let me see where it goes. Yep. Another 1/2 thousandth to go, and then it's going to go park for a fine feed, for a fine dress. And there it goes. Now it'll come out for a fine dress. A little bit slower. Drops down 1,000 and comes across. That. We'll close this up and we'll finish up. Now we're going to go down 2/10 at a time again. Oh, we get the door closed. Yeah. There we go. And I can speed that up. I'm going to take 5/10 just to move it along there. There we go on the fine feed. Take a 1/2 thousand from that 8. There's 3. And 3. I'm gonna let the spark out go to no spark out. When it finishes up, let it go park. I said a lot of this stuff you can do on the fly while the program's running. It's pretty slick that way. That should be the last pass. And there's that. End of cycle. And if you want, I could show a plunge cycle.
No, we're good.
Yeah, plunge does the same thing except that we don't traverse in and out.
Right.
It just plunges straight down.
Excellent.
So that's that. Yeah, it runs nice. We'll shut the oil off. And yeah, it's a nice running tool.